woman is neglecting you. She doesn't think about you. She doesn't see your efforts. But I'm telling you, there's one thing that wounds her ego more than anything else, something she'll never admit out loud, and you can do it without saying a single word. No matter how much you love, how much you give, or how much you try to prove yourself, if she doesn't value you, you are slowly losing your self-respect. You keep reaching out, explaining yourself, asking for attention, but she keeps drifting further away. Stoicism teaches that trying to change someone who doesn't respect you is a waste of time and energy. Instead, your job is to take your power back. The deepest cut happens when you no longer live for her approval. When you focus on your own growth, stay busy with your own life, and refuse to let her neglect define your worth, she begins to feel her own importance fade. That is the silent blow that comes from walking the Stoic path. Point 1. Remove your availability without drama. When a woman is not valuing you, your biggest mistake will be trying harder to prove yourself. Many men in such situations keep trying to reach out, ask for explanations, or increase their presence, as if giving more will eventually make her grateful. But in reality, the opposite happens. The more accessible you are, the less she values you. This is basic human psychology. Scarcity creates value. What's rare is valued more. What's always available loses its worth. When you're available all the time, you make your time and energy so cheap that they lose all significance in her eyes. Stoicism teaches us in such situations: control what you can, ignore what you can't. Meaning, you cannot control her actions, her feelings, or her evaluation of you, but you can control where you spend your time, energy, and attention. That is entirely in your hands. Think about having someone in your life who is ready for you 24/7. At first, it might feel comforting, but over time you start thinking, I can have it whenever I want. This certainty creates a kind of irritation or monotony. In psychology, this is called habituation. The more we have something, the less dopamine our brain releases for it. The same thing happens in romantic relationships. When she knows you'll always text, always pick up the call, or say yes to any plan, there's no scarcity in your time. As a result, your presence doesn't evoke any special feeling in her. The goal here is to limit your presence gradually without making a scene. Disappearing suddenly can feel like a passive-aggressive game, which is not in line with Stoic principles. Instead, you slowly reclaim your time. Reply on your time. Don't respond to messages instantly. Reply when it suits you. Control the meeting schedule. Not always on her schedule. Prioritize yours. Be less predictable. Avoid contacting her at the same time in the same way every day. Prioritize your growth. Spend time learning new skills, working out, or on passion projects. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Here, good man means someone who understands his own worth and values his own time. At first, she might not notice anything, but gradually when she sees you're no longer a constant, presence, curiosity, and a slight unease will begin to grow in her mind. Because before your time was unlimited, and now it's not. And this limitation creates scarcity, which breeds attraction. She may start thinking to herself, is he busy with someone else? Does he not feel like talking to me anymore? Did I do something wrong? The more these questions swirl in her mind, the more she will feel your absence. The worst mistake would be to see this strategy as revenge. Stoicism does not teach revenge. It teaches you to build your life in a way that your peace, dignity, and happiness are not dependent on anyone else's validation. When you focus your time on your work, health, hobbies, and purpose, you become a complete person, And complete people are always more attractive because they build relationships from abundance, not from need. Point 2. Stop explaining yourself to someone who doesn't care. It's human nature. When we feel someone is misunderstanding us or losing respect for us, we instantly try to explain ourselves to fix it. Deep down, our ego wants them to see us the right way, to truly understand who we are. But this is where the biggest trap lies. One of the core teachings of Stoic philosophy is, focus on what you can control, let go of what you can't. Another person's thoughts, perspective, or respect for you, these are not in your control. Psychology shows that when you repeatedly try to clarify your position to someone, you're subconsciously signaling that their opinion matters so much to you that you're willing to risk your energy, time, and dignity to win it back. The problem is, if that person already doesn't value you, your explanations won't change that. In fact, they'll see it as emotional dependence. Think about it. If you keep explaining yourself to someone who doesn't even want to listen, it's like talking to a wall. The wall won't change, but you'll lose your voice, patience, and self-respect. Stoics never tried to prove their truth to everyone. They understood that truth stands on its own. It doesn't need constant justification. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." In other words, don't waste time debating the definition of a good man. Become one. If you are truly a man worthy of respect, you won't need to spend hours explaining yourself to anyone. Your actions, your presence, and your boundaries will speak for you. Reclaim your power. Stop making someone else's approval the driving force of your life. Show silent strength. Silence often sends the loudest message. Spark curiosity. When you stop justifying yourself, they start wondering, why did he go quiet? That curiosity makes you oddly more attractive. One of my clients shared that his girlfriend often complained about small things. Before, he would send long texts explaining his side. Later, using the Stoic approach, he stopped explaining. Now, when complaints came, he simply said, "I understand," or noted, and went back to his work. Within weeks, she was surprised by his calm and self-control. Before, she knew that pressing him would lead to long justifications. Now that wasn't the case. Her curiosity grew. Here's how to apply it. Listen, but don't react. If she complains, listen attentively, but don't give a long answer. Use short responses. Calm phrases like, "I understand," or "all right," work well. Change the topic. When you see the conversation won't be productive, gently steer it elsewhere. Invest time in yourself. Use the time you save from explaining to learn new skills, exercise, or grow your career. When you stop explaining yourself, you're prioritizing your peace of mind and dignity. This not only changes how she sees you, it changes you. You become someone who doesn't live for approval, but stands firmly on your own principles and values. Point 3. Let the absence speak louder than your words. There's a deep truth in human psychology. What is always in front of us, we tend to undervalue. What is absent, we begin to value more. When a woman stops giving you enough attention, and her behavior toward you turns cold, one of the most powerful responses can be going quiet and pulling yourself away. Psychologists call this the Maga scarcity principle. The rarer something is, the more we value it. The same rule applies in relationships. If you're always easily available to her, she'll get used to your presence. But when you suddenly remove that presence, the empty space starts to make her uncomfortable. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Withdraw into yourself. The more you retreat, the more you will find within." This retreat isn't just about finding peace within yourself. It also forces others to recognize your value. At first, when you create distance, she might think, he's just sulking, whatever. But a few days later, she'll realize your energy, your attention, your smile, all of it is no longer orbiting around her. Then her mind will naturally try to fill that empty space. The key here is you don't make a scene when you distance yourself. No blocking, no insults, no dramatic announcements. You simply focus quietly on your own life. One of my students told me his girlfriend wasn't the same anymore. She was always busy when he called and took ages to reply to texts. Before he'd get angry, send long messages and ask, "Why are you doing this?" But later I told him, "Say nothing. Just get so busy with your own life that your absence speaks for itself." Within just 2 weeks, she came back to him and said, "You feel so different now. I miss you." The Stoic approach here is clear. That be content to seem what you really are. Don't play games or fake indifference. Truly focus on your own life. Invest in your growth and find happiness in your own completeness, not in her presence. Here's how to make absence work for you. Self-improvement mode. Learn new skills, work out, or take on new projects in your career. Social energy shift. Spend time with new friends and give more attention to family. Digital silence. Stop commenting on or reacting to her posts on social media. No explanation. Give no explanations, before or after creating distance. When she sees you happy, busy and improving without needing her approval, she'll begin to feel a subtle fear of loss. This feeling alone can start pulling her back toward you. And even if she doesn't come back, you've still won, because you've kept your strength and dignity intact. Point 4. Control the frame, don't chase it. When a woman is not valuing you, chasing after her behavior is like giving up the driver's seat of your life and sitting in the passenger seat. In this position, you become entirely dependent on her decisions. Stoicism teaches that you must keep the frame or narrative of your life in your own hands, not in someone else's. The frame is about whose perspective is being accepted as reality in the relationship or interaction. If you constantly adjust your mood, actions, or words based on her reactions, you're playing in her frame. If you act according to your own values, boundaries, and principles, you're staying in your own frame. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." If you hold your own frame, someone else's disrespect or neglect can't take away your inner peace. Signs you've lost your frame. You keep seeking her validation. When she mistreats you, you forget your dignity and try to win her over. Your emotions change with every one of her mood swings. How to hold your frame. Set clear boundaries. Know exactly what behavior you will and won't accept, and calmly communicate it when necessary. Detach from outcome. What she thinks or does is outside your frame. You're only responsible for your actions and responses. Act, don't react. Decide what you will do and follow through instead of impulsively reacting to her actions. One client told me his girlfriend often insulted him or canceled plans last minute, before he would get angry, apologize, or send long explanations. Later, he decided to hold his frame. One day, when she canceled plans, he simply said, "All right, I'll do something else." No drama, no anger. After a few times, she noticed that he was no longer a servant to her behavior. Her attitude began to change. When you hold your own frame, you display real strength, silent but profound. Two things happen. She realizes you are not dependent on her moods. You keep your self-respect and become even stronger. Point 5. Master the art of emotional non-reaction. One of the most powerful ways to gain control over someone's influence on your mind is to Master how you respond. When a woman disrespects you or tries to provoke your emotions, her main goal is often to see your reaction. If you get angry, upset, or break down, she knows she controls your emotional state. Stoicism puts it simply. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. Marcus Aurelius, in other words, the problem is not the event itself, but how you interpret it. When you refuse to react to someone's provocation, you immediately shift the balance of power. She thought she could unsettle you. But if you remain calm, her tactic fails. This creates a strange psychological effect. People are drawn to what they cannot easily read. Your silence and composure make you mysterious and intriguing. How to master emotional non-reaction. Pause before response. Before saying anything, pause for 3 to 5 seconds. This calms your emotions. Observe, don't absorb. Even if her words hit you like arrows, observe them without letting them sink in. Shift, focus internally. Pay attention to your breathing, posture, and eye contact. Minimal words, maximum impact. If you need to respond, keep it short, I see, or okay. For example, if she sarcastically says, "You're always busy, never have time for me," in the past, you might have argued, explained, or tried to prove you weren't busy. But now, you just smile slightly and say, "Maybe," then turn your attention elsewhere. In that single moment you've shown your peace is not a servant to someone else's words. Non-reaction doesn't mean indifference. It means you're the master of your emotions, not a puppet to someone else's triggers. Over time, this leads to 2 results. She realizes her old tactics no longer work on you. Your confidence and emotional stability grow even stronger. Point 6. Turn distance into silent leverage. When a woman no longer values you, the biggest mistake you can make is trying harder to stay close to her. Human nature works like this. What is always available is taken for granted, and what was once close but suddenly becomes absent is felt much more intensely. Stoicism teaches that distance is not indifference. Distance is space you create to reclaim your strength. Why distance works. Scarcity principle. Psychology proves that when the presence of a person or thing is limited, its value increases. Self-reflection trigger. When you suddenly disappear, she has the chance to reflect on her own behavior and attitude toward you. Energy reset. You rebuild your mental strength so that when you meet again, you're stronger and more self-sufficient than before. How to create silent leverage through distance. Physical space. Reduce communication, and if necessary, take a complete break. Digital silence. Reply to messages less frequently or after a delay, and reduce your activity on social media. Energetic detachment. Stop overthinking about her words or actions. For example, let's say you talk to her every day. She ignores you or replies to your texts hours later. One day, you decide you won't text first anymore, and when she does message you, you'll respond calmly but without extra enthusiasm. At first, she might think you're just busy. But over time, she'll begin to feel that your absence has left a gap in her day. From that gap comes curiosity, guilt, and the desire to reconnect. Distance makes you necessary, not quasi-excessive. It works in 2 ways at the same time. You maintain your dignity. You become new, mysterious, and valuable to her again. Point 7. Let your growth speak louder than confrontation. If a woman no longer values you, your most powerful form of revenge is to become better than ever before. Not through words, but through action. Stoicism always teaches, Don't waste your time proving yourself to those who chose not to see you. Instead, become so much more that even they cannot ignore you. When you get angry, explain yourself, or try to prove her wrong. You're wasting your energy. But when you quietly focus on your career, fitness, social standing, and mental health, you rise to a level that was once accessible to her, but now can only be seen from afar. How growth changes the game. Regret activation. She starts to realize that the man she once had easy access to is now far out of reach. Social mirror effect. Your growth becomes visible to the people around her, and they bring it up in front of her. Shift of power. The dynamic flips. You're no longer chasing her attention. She's trying to get yours. Areas to focus on. Career elevation. Improve your job or business, learn new skills, and expand your income sources. Physical transformation. Hit the gym, focus on fitness, upgrade your wardrobe and style. Social expansion. Network with new people. Gain new experiences. Inner stability. Practice meditation, journaling, and Stoic self-reflection. Imagine this. After the breakup, you go completely silent, but start working on yourself in the background. 6 months later, you're wearing better clothes. Your body is in shape. Your income has grown, and your social media is filled with attractive photos and engaging activities. One day, she sees your picture and goes quiet, because this is the same man she undervalued, but now he's out of her reach. Through this approach, you prove that your worth doesn't depend on anyone's approval. You grow so much that undervaluing you becomes one of the biggest mistakes of her life. Point 8. Withdraw your emotional currency. People don't just sustain relationships through money or gifts. The greatest investment is emotional. When you give someone your attention, empathy, time, love, and mental support, you are spending your emotional currency. When a woman stops valuing you, the smartest decision you can make is to stop spending this currency blindly. Stoicism teaches us, stop watering a dead tree. In other words, don't invest your energy where there is no value. Why withdrawing emotional currency works. Value realization effect. People truly understand the value of something when it's no longer easily available. Psychological shock. When your constant attention stops, she starts to realize just how much you were giving. Self-preservation. Your mental and emotional strength returns to your own life. How to pull back without drama. Stop over-explaining. You don't need to repeatedly explain why you're hurt or disappointed. Reduce emotional labor. Stop taking responsibility for fixing her mood or solving her problems. Set conversation boundaries. Avoid overly long or deep conversations where you're the only one investing effort. Redirect energy. Focus on friends, family, personal projects, or hobbies. For example, you ask her every day how her day went, calm her anger, and help her deal with stress. But when you go through something difficult, she dismisses it or isn't there for you. That's when you start slowly pulling back your emotional support. At first, she may think you're just busy, but after a while, she'll realize that her emotional stability, which relied on your constant care, is starting to weaken. This is when guilt and regret begin to surface. You're not emotionally blackmailing her. You're protecting your own energy. This has two major effects. You regain your own emotional stability. She suddenly realizes you weren't just a partner, you were her emotional anchor, and without that anchor, her ship has begun to drift. If you want to learn how to reclaim your power through silence, and move forward in a way that makes those who once ignored you turn back toward you, then subscribe to this channel.